The Angels of Allah, Master Fard Muhammad, Volume 2. Chapters: Mental Radio and Television, the 12 Major God Scientists, Righteous Thought Projections, How the Angels of Nature Work, Universal Teachers, From Mental to Physical Lessons, The God Brothers Are Rising, Black Youth, the Leaders of the New World. Your eyes are a map of the world, the temple within, the immortal mortal, positive power. After the body dies, the mind lives on. The 7 secret sciences: mentalism. The second science: correspondence. The third science: vibration. The fourth science: polarity. The fifth science: rhythm. The sixth science: causation. The seventh science: gender. With excerpts of the preview of Volume 3. On October the 22nd in 1972, in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America, Messenger Elijah Muhammad explained during his Theology of Time series, quote, "Just because I can't preach like Paul, should I curse out the angels? No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to unite with both Paul and angels." The Angels of Allah, Volume 2, is copyrighted August of 2007, all rights reserved. To learn more, visit our official website at noireport.online or visit us at ministeralif@gmail.com or visit our YouTube channel at #NOIReport. The struggle continues. Mental radio and television. An old woman had already been to Joseph and told him that the child Mary was carrying was his child, meaning Jesus. And the child would be a wonderful child, a prophet and teacher. She told him that the child was his, but Joseph denied it. But this woman knew because she was a prophetess and what we call a medium. She told him his name was in the Holy Quran and that he should take care of him and that the authorities would seek the child's life by Messenger Elijah Muhammad, the true history of Jesus. By nature, African, Black, or Asiatics are dominated by the right side of their brain, spiritual. Europeans, whites from P-land, are dominated by the left side of their brain, materialists. The Black concept of time is one, circular thinking. The white concept of time is linear, from one point to another. The gods consider the past, present, and future as part of the universal vibration or motion of time. The female elder, meaning the Black woman, was a prophetess, and she had the ability to tune in or read minds or use the science of mental telepathy. She was able to be in one part of the world and mentally travel into Yusuf's or Joseph's brain, pineal gland, and talk to him. Think that over. These quotes mediums are real. However, 99.99% of the ones we see advertised are fakes. The so-called palm readers, crystal ball readers, psychic readers, and astrologers are 99.99% fakes. However, they are all rooted in truth or reality, science, nature, or mathematics. True mediums deal with universal mathematics, not miracles or myths. In ancient Kemet or Black Egypt, the goddess Ma'at taught universal truth, balance, peace, unity of the whole, freedom, justice, and equality. The mediums are go-betweens. To understand this advanced science of life, we need to define a few items. Prophetess or medium, middle agent between the 24th, black man God or supreme scientist and an elect. In theology, known as the middle person between the creator and humanity. Telergy, a hypothetical action of one person's thought and desires upon the brain, 7.5 ounces in a baby and 3 pounds in an adult, of another person by the transmission of some unknown form of energy. Medium's purpose, to use her or his premonitions to warn in advance. Some mediums need to physically touch the person or an object related or energized by the person. The mediums who mastered their skills have the ability to use only their mind. Psychic, not physical, organic, yet real. Spiritualistic medium, also known as a master medium. Telekinesis, the apparent production of motion in objects as by a spiritualist medium, without contact or other physical means. Islam, submission to the one creator, or the black man's mind, which is the cause to every effect, including the mental, mathematical, and magnetic. Vertigo, anti-myat, imbalance or mental chaos. The imbalance one feels when the external world seems to revolve around the individual or in which the individual seems to revolve in space, called also respectively objective vertigo, subjective vertigo, dizziness or confused condition of the conscious mind. Tahuti or Thoth, the human black man god who lived in ancient Kemet, Black Egypt, and was a member of the tribe Shabazz, known by thousands of different names today. Thoth was the scribe who wrote for the black scientists who was called the god of wisdom. Thoth is where we get the concept of thought. UHF, ultra high frequency, UHF, is used by televisions. It is a radio frequency in the second from the highest range of the radio spectrum. VHF, very high frequency. VHF is also used by televisions. It is a radio frequency in the range of the radio spectrum above high frequencies. The high band, between 100 and 156 megacycles or circles, used for radio aids to airplane navigation and communications. Television, tele means to tell, plus vision, outer vision and inner vision. The transmission and reproduction of transient images of fixed or moving objects. An electronic system of transmitting such images together with sound over a wire or through space by apparatus, tower, device, or brain cell that transforms or converts light traveling at the speed of 186,000 miles per second and sound traveling at the speed of 1,120 feet per second into electrical waves and reconverts them into visible light rays from red to blue. An audible sound, waves and vapors of water. Televisions receives, their antenna transmits. Radio, the transmission and reception of electrical impulses or signals by means of electromagnetic waves without a connecting wire. Includes wireless television and radar radiant energy. Radio frequencies, the class, abbreviations, and ranges. Extremely low frequency, ELFs, is from 30 to 300 hertz. Voice frequency, or VFs, are from 300 to 3000 hertz. Very low frequencies, or VLFs, are from 3 to 30 kilohertz. Low frequencies, or LFs, are from 30 to 300 kilohertz. Medium frequencies, or MFs, are from 300 to 3000 kilohertz. High frequency, HF, is from 3 to 30 megahertz. Very high frequency, or VHF, is from 30 to 300 megahertz. Ultra high frequency, or UHF, is from 300 to 3000 megahertz. Super high frequency, or SHF, is from 3 to 30 gigahertz. Extremely high frequency, or EHF, is from 30 to 300 gigahertz. FM, frequency modulation. FM, modulation of the frequency of the carrier wave in accordance with speech or a signal. The system of broadcasting using this method of modulations. Frequency modulated. Type form, modulated by frequency modulation relating to waves so modulated. AM, amplitude modulation. AM modulation of the amplitude of a radio carrier wave in accordance with the strength of the radio or other signal. A broadcasting system using such modulation. Amplitude modulations type form. Operating by amplitude modulating relating to waves so modulated. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the Supreme Allah, God of gods and goddesses, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, has the ability to spin us like a toy top and make us think the way he wants us to think. He can send thoughts to our brains, and we can send thoughts to his brain by prayer or determined ideas. This science deals with reality or universal mathematics, not magic, miracles, or spookism. Only the real poor righteous teachers are able to master this secret science. The science of the mind is well known by the devil. He seeks to exploit it for evil. However, the nature of Allah is too pure. Allah's word is bond and bond is life. Every time the lie tries to reach the seventh dimension, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, soul, self, and will, the lie falls back down to the physical plane. The foolish mortals waste their time playing with Allah. It is not that Allah is sitting in the mother plane and sending or receiving mental emails, smile. That is not mathematics. The mind of the black man is infinite, not limited by time or place. The physical person of the Savior is not needed. His mind is one with your mind. Think that over. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said in the Holy Owl Savers Arrive on page 26 in 1974 in Chicago, Illinois, quote, Allah is all of us. Both Yaqub and Elijah is still alive mentally or through their teachings. Many FOI and or MGT has this twisted and expect the physical return of the God, messenger, or mother plane. There is no one or thing coming to save you except you. See the God or goddess in the mirror and accept your own and be yourself. The scientists are all around and you are one within the cipher, 360-degree circle. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained in the True History of Jesus, quote, the next day the old man goes and get himself onto the path Jesus uses. It just so happened that Jesus was all alone this day, walking behind his classmates. So the old man, scientist God, was very glad. He walked with Jesus towards his mother's house, And this time he gives his first lesson about receiving messages, radio in the head. It was easy for Jesus to learn anything. He learned it within 3 days. Then the old man said to him, "Now you can go anywhere you want to. You can take care of yourself. Nobody can harm you now unless you let them." Eat to live, no more than 1 meal a day, and practice 100% righteous conduct. Your true nature and your body and mind will begin to balance itself. You or your future generation will tune in. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Minister Alif. The 12 Major God Scientists by Brother Alifullah, Minister. Quote by Debunking, The Return of the Gods, pages 81 to 103. In the scientific writings of the Jains, spiritual culture of northern India, alongside of Buddhism and Hinduism, the atom occupies a point in space. Our own science teaches the same. Two atoms can form a chain of the smallest proportions, but they are also molecule chains consisting of many millions of atoms. These atom chains give rise to substance and materials of various densities. The Jain teaching distinguishes 6 chief forms of such chains or connections. Fine, things are invisible. Fine, things that are still invisible. Fine, coarse, things that are invisible but perceptible by smell and hearing. Coarse, fine, things one can see but not feel, such as shadow or darkness. Coarse things, which reunite by themselves, such as water or oil. Coarse, things which do not reunite without external help, stone or metal. 12 major god cycles of ancient India. Anu, 4,320, Enlil, 3,600, Ea, 2,880, Sin, 2,160, Sama, 440, Adad, 432, Kali Yuga, 432,000, Kali Yuga, 360,000, Diva Yuga, 288,000, Treta Yuga, 216,000, Dvapara Yuga, 144,000, Maha Yuga, 4,320,000. There is a reason for the fact that Kali Yuga appears twice. The Kali Yuga without twilight is of shorter duration than the Kali Yuga with twilight. Our DNA contains approximately 110,000 active genes, between which can be found many fragments of genetic junk. Is it really junk, or does it have a quite specific task which had eluded geneticists up to now? Debunking, The Return of the Gods, pages 81 to 103. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us 84 trillion years ago, the black man, in his mental or energy form, manifested unrealized reality. He vibrated matter from antimatter, or what the black gods of India call fine, things are invisible. This was based on the mathematical will of the one creator, not a spook. 78 trillion years ago, he sparked our solar system's sun into existence. He did not magically create the sun. He mathematically made the sun from atoms of hydrogen and helium. The minor atoms that played the role in the sun were not junk. Everything in creation serves a purpose. So it is with every piece of DNA and thought. The Holy Quran teaches us in Surah or chapter 2, ayats or verses 1 to 3, believe in the seen and the unseen or invisible. A single atom multiplied itself into 10,000 particles to form a whole. It then had the mass or weight to make things happen on a physical plane. The black man, sperm cell, water molecule, atom, energy, and thought are all one. They are just different manifestations from the will of the black man, Allah God. 76 trillion years ago, a piece of the sun cooled, formed our planet Earth. The first Awal to walk in the light of the sun was the original man. He was pure and dominant. His melanin or black essence contained every atom in his creation. As it was on the external, it was and is on the internal. 72 trillion years ago, human gods and goddesses sparked other atoms to crown the galaxy, make the stars. 66 trillion years ago, a black man god organized his branch of Shabazz, black men and women, to drill a shaft into the radius of the earth and filled it with 100% dynamite and blasted a piece of the earth away to form the moon. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us, prior to this huge explosion, we did not have Mount Everest towering 29,141 feet over us. Today we have mountains, but then we had none. A study of the earth reveals that under the crust of the earth, there is a smooth ball of rock that has no mountains. The Pacific Ocean is known for having earthquakes and is called the Ring of Fire. The land touching her waters, California, Japan, etc., suffer more earthquakes than anywhere else on Earth. There are more mountains and earthquakes under the oceans than there are on the land. From the 76 trillionth to the 66 trillionth year, we had 24 black gods, scientists, that wrote our story in advance. They wrote what we call history to last for 35,000 years each, 1 year for each mile of our cipher. The older Earth was 35,000 years in circumference. We lost a tribe during the great explosion and making of our present moon 66 trillion years ago. After that event, the 24 scientists modified their mathematics and began to write our story, which is everyone's story, to last for only 25,000 years, which is equal to the modern circumference of our planet, 24,896 miles, approximately 25,000 miles. The concept of writing history in cycles is so old we cannot date its origin. The ancient gods and goddesses, all of whom were 100% human beings and not spirits, used, quote, cycles to record their story. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us there are 24 scientists, human angels, 12 are major and 12 are minor. The Christian scholars know that the original Bible taught about human gods and goddesses, but they do not like to focus on the secret. I declare, gods though you be, Bible, Psalms chapter 82, verse 6. Footnote number 82, number 6. I declare, gods though you be. In John chapter 10, verse 34, Jesus uses the verse to prove that those to whom the word of God addressed can fittingly be called gods. New American Bible, page 657 and 658, published by Catholic Book Publishing Company in New York. 100% of the DNA of the original man, God himself, is in you. This is how God lives in you, not by a ghost. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Alif, Universal Nation of Islam, P.O. Box 1143, Exton, PA 19341. Hurry, accept your own and be yourself. Allah. Join the Universal Nation of Islam today. Righteous Thought Projections by Brother Alif Allah, Minister of truth. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us in the Holy Theology of Time on August the 20th, 1972, in Chicago, Illinois, quote, "There are many people who believe angels and gods appear in the air someplace, but if they're up there, we could see them. There is no such thing as formless spirits flying around in space, unless you want to declare such as the righteous mind. The righteous has a mind that wills certain things to be done and using certain things which are in the space around, but is not material. There are many men on earth today who are real righteous. They can tune up on us and tell us what we're thinking about from Asia, Africa, and other spots on our earth that has such people among them. This is not impossible for you to do. However, you will have to get right. Our brains are kind of rusty and kinky, the spiritual part of it, from listening to and being guided and led by the enemy. They have our brain a little rusty. If you believe in Islam, do the things which are right, take away the cancerous disease of wickedness out of your brains, you too will hear. In the Bible, you find where David said that the Lord opened up his ears and caused him to hear. This is referring to us here. We can do wonders and will do wonders if we obey Allah and carry the principles of truth into practice. We will do wondrous things. King David, meaning Prophet David, is listed in the first chapter of Matthew as the genetic DNA base from which the black prophet Isa, Yeshua, or Jesus was born. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, David said that the Lord opened up his ears and caused him to hear. The Bible teaches us in Psalms chapter 40, verses 5 to 7, quote, "Many, O Lord my God, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts which are to us ward within us, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto you. If I would declare and speak of them, there are more than I can calculate. Sacrifice and offering, or fasting and money, you did not desire. My ears have you opened. Burnt offering and sin offering has you not required. Then said I, Lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me." The Supreme Allah God, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, teaches us there are 9 forces which balances our equilibrium: attraction, repulsion, cohesion, assimilation, dissimulation, creation, projection, reception, and intuition. Yes, you, by nature, have the power to create or lower your thought vibrations into physical manifestations. Anything that you put your mind to, you can achieve. Your challenge is to bring your actions up to par with your thinking. Many FOI and or MGT talk like gods and goddesses, yet act like slaves. The black man god Thoth or Tahuti, who was a member of the tribe of Shabazz in ancient Kemet or Black Egypt, revealed the science of causation. Cause and effect, or actions and reactions, is rooted in universal mathematics, spiritually called today Islam. This is why the last messenger teaches us Islam is not our religion. It is the nature in which we were born. According to the Holy Quran, Surah or chapter 30, ayat or verse 30. When we think, dress, speak, eat, act, and live in harmony with our nature, we stimulate the latent powers in our own being. We begin to attract like minds and repel wicked ideas. This builds cohesion in the self. family, and nation. Then we start to assimilate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, skills, arts, sciences, and resources of the universe to build heaven on earth. We enforce the holy, restricted laws of Islam to dissimulate the wicked and to strengthen the weak. Then we have the willpower to bring into creation our determined ideas. The righteous projections begin to appear on our pineal gland, mind's eye, or mind's mind, and we become receptors of Allah's revelations. This level of intuition does not come from us, it comes through us. This is the Sunnah Allahi, or way of the God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us in the Holy Theology of Time on June 25th, 1972, quote, "This work, this divine work's mostly done by a servant of his. I want to say to you that I'm his humble servant, and I don't want to take over that which he has not given to me. But let us prepare ourselves by coming out here learning the way of God." The thought science deals with the action or process of thinking righteous thoughts. Mental concentration gives birth to conceptions or ideas, not to be confused with sense perceptions or emotions. Study, imagination, prayer, visions, and positive thinking builds the brain. Projections are the systematic presentation of intersecting coordinate lines on a flat surface, such as the pineal gland, upon which features from the curved surface of the earth or the celestial sphere may be mathematically mapped out. Once we draw the picture or understanding in our mind, we can then make it manifest. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in the 12 Jews of Islam, number 3, quote, "Understanding, a picture one makes in his mind of knowledge." The Messiah, Christ, Mahdi, Savior figure is one and the same person, meaning the Master Fard Muhammad, the Master of Masters. He is not a spook. He has already arrived in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. When we associate partners or myths with the true and living God, we deprive him and ourselves of wisdom, power, and force. If we take on recessive ideas about a law, we become self-deluded. 95% of the world believes in a spooky Messiah, Christ, Mahdi, Savior. The Messiah's Göttingen, published in 1929 by Gressman H. Let us look at the common denominator on all these Messiah concepts. He says, and I quote, "Who will return? But who is supposed to return and when? Christians and Jews await the Messiah. Muslims, the Mahdi, which is actually just another name for a Messiah figure. The word Messiah originally meant the anointed one. It comes from the Hebrew Mashiach, Christos in Greek, meaning the anointed king. But an earthly king cannot be meant for, as the famous professor Dr. Hugo Gressman wrote, the term Messiah precludes the idea of a human being. Messiah is the name for divine being, one who is also thought to have existed before there were human beings. He has great power. He brings a new order. He is justice personified. He is inspired, elected, and directed by God. According to different religions, he is a son of man, conceived by the divine, seed, embryo, karma of the divine, who has actually dwelt for a while on earth, is then assumed into the heavens and will one day return. Either one or many extraterrestrial godlike beings who once came to dwell on earth. In many traditions, the return of the gods is associated with some kind of day of judgment or final reckoning, and with catastrophic natural events, Every religion adds its own color and interpretation, twists the story a little or a lot to reinforce its own message and assure the salvation only of those who believe in it. But the legends at the core of all these beliefs are far older than particular religions, whether Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or Buddhist. So let me repeat, who is going to come? Whose judgment should we fear? Who will return with heavenly armies and mighty turbulence in the firmament? Paleoceti philosophy can offer to these questions an answer which accords with all traditions. It is a theory which confirms many texts and solves many separate riddles. But in contrast to religions, Paleoceti philosophy does not require any faith or belief, just unprejudiced, rational expectations of religion based on logic and reason. Eric Van Daniken, The Return of the Gods, Evidence of Extraterrestrial Visitations, also the author of Chariots of the Gods. Mr. Daniken was on point for most of his argument. However, he would rather conclude that a being would come from, quote, another planet to solve this planet's problems than to believe that man makes and solves his own problems. Paleoceti philosophy, paleo means old or ancient from the Greek paleos, ceti equals search for extraterrestrial intelligence. There are other white scientists who would rather believe that the Great Pyramid of Giza was built by Martians or distant aliens rather than human black men and women, gods and goddesses on Earth. Dr. Beta Stradler, professor of genetics at Bern University, compares this with Lego bricks. Our DNA contains approximately 110,000 active genes, between which can be found many fragments of junk or genetic junk. It is really junk? Or does it have a quite specific task which had eluded geneticists up to now? It are in the same book. There's nothing in or on the human body that does not serve a divine purpose. The pores, skin, hair, nails, eyes, etc. all serve a, quote, divine purpose. When we fail to eat to live mentally and physically, we distort our images and bodies. Stress, insanity, obesity, etc. are the mind and body's way of saying, I am out of balance or my act. One day, the messenger was building with the master. The messenger asked him about the impossible. The master explained that in reality, nothing is impossible. And he showed and proved his argument by mentally pointing to the origin of creation. He explained, once upon a time, nothing existed. Today, everything exists. Al-Khaliq, the one creator, created the first atom, in Arabic called Thara, of life over 114 trillion years ago. Mind of the black man is infinite. The mathematics of our universe is 114 trillion years ago, ethereal thoughts, conscious antimatter. 108 trillion years ago, quark, baby atom composed of 10,000 parts. 102 trillion years ago, positron, polarity or positive electron. 96 trillion years ago, proton, 5 percenters or positive force. 90 trillion years ago, neutron, 85 percenters or neutral force. 84 trillion years ago, electron, 10 percenters or negative force. 78 trillion years ago, sun was made. 72 trillion years ago, stars were made. 66 trillion years ago, moon was made. That's the present moon made. Notice there are 6 periods between each manifestation of our universe. The present atmosphere of the earth is 6 miles high. Since ether is lighter and finer than nitrogen or air, Ether rises up from the earth and is activated or germinated by the sun. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in the Holy Theology of Time on June 25th, 1972, in Chicago, Illinois, quote, "A blue gas that we call ether is sent up from the earth towards the sun. A ceiling is made out of it at a distance. We have conscious and subconscious thought or thoughts. There are atomic and subatomic atoms. Lay back and picture something. We can picture a good or evil, positive or negative, God or devil projection. It is best to deal with the positive. The entire universe was sparked by the positive black man, who is Allah, and there is no unrighteousness in him. The devil is merely the other end of his polarity. You can bring your inner view into an outer view. However, weak or recessive ideas fade back into our subconsciousness. Only determined ideas germinate or travel. The brain is a transmitter and receiver of ideas. The Holy Quran teaches us the remembrance of Allah God is the greatest force. The Bible says, as we think in our heart or mind, so are we. The Messenger teaches us in the Holy Al-Sayyid's Arrival on page 26 as stated, quote, Allah is all of us. All FY and MGT are taught to meet and overcome all obstacles in our path. Positive thought projections help us. When we eat one meal a day and take one day at a time, we are able to bring our desires to pass if they are for good. We should expect setbacks, slip-ups, and failures. These beautiful events help condition and strengthen us to be the best we can be. We may not physically live to see our goals in our physical lifetime. However, it will rise in the subconsciousness of future generations. Yes, your mind lives after you physically die. The physically dead is never known to return from the physical grave. It is not mathematics. However, before the physical earth, blood, ocean, or person was here, the mind of reality already was alive, well, and in power. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the black gods. Peace to the black goddesses. Brother Alif, your brother first. You and I. The devil is trying to stop these teachings from reaching your eyes. They know for a fact if your eyes peep this, your brain will be germinated by it. Your mind will be reactivated by it. You will change within and without. In fact, you will make everything new. They fear the judgment of Allah. This only means your rise and taking over your universe. By Brother Minister Alif. Good God, bad devil. The following excerpts are from a Jumu'ah that was held by Brother Minister Alif Allah, the minister, titled, How the Angels of Nature Work. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us the 12 interests that format the modern ruler is a symbol of the 12 actual rulers of Islam. There's a hidden imam or secret minister, wazir. In the Arabic language, he is referred to as al-sir wazir, or the secret minister. He is not a spook or a spirit. He is a man. A black man in every form. Yet, the masses considers the angels of Allah to be spirits, and some spooky mentally dead may try to stab or shoot him to see if he bleeds. Messenger Elijah Muhammad warned us not to point out the angels in person. We see the wave of attacks and persecution that is trying to stop our work already. But this is the time. It is time that the people know the truth. It is time that the angels of Allah spread their wings. The circle of the 5 angels are in position. The 5 dominant types that comprise humanity is black, brown, yellow, red, and white. We have comrades spreading spiritual seeds of truth and reality all over the world today. There are also a secret 7. The 5 angels that govern humanity are not spooks. And the seven angels that govern the forces of nature are not spirits. The last messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, is not physically coming back. The supreme Allah God, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, is not physically coming back. But the angels are going to get back. The circle of the 12 is actually two ciphers or circles of 12. This makes a sum total of 24 scientists. Messenger Muhammad teaches us 12 are major and 12 are minor. Don't sleep on the minors. Relative to the 85% millionaires and the 10% rich slave makers of the poor, the 12 minors are major too. The last messenger is in the circle of the 12 and of the 7. In our holy book of lessons, we learn what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. In summary, these effects are caused by the Son of Man, the black man, who is Allah. The Jews, Catholics, Christians, and Orthodox Muslims think that a mystery God is causing all of these effects. Not so. Truth be told, there is only one creator. We call Huwa or him Al-Khaliq in Arabic, but he is known by countless names. True Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is universal. For every effect, there is a cause. We may not know who or how the effect was made manifest, but things happen so that things may occur. There is nothing spooky in real spirituality. Everything is haki, or real. The earth is approximately covered by liquid water. This is a mathematical combination of oxygen atoms and hydrogen atoms that are vibrated at a mathematical constant. The sun and moon has a gravitational or magnetic pull on the oceans and the liquid blood in our bodies. The sun is saying, come here. The moon is saying, come here. The earth is saying, stay here. The stars are saying, come here. Yet we are in a state of sakin, or perfect peace and balance in our natural person. We read in the Bible about the angels coming to the wicked cities. The various organized religions of the world would like for you to accept on face value the myth that they use magic or some type of miracle to spark that eruption. It was simple mathematics. We walk on the crust of the earth, but deep inside of this earth is a sun, or pure magma. We call it hot lava. It is like a bunch of boiling nickels inside of this earth. If we burn a dime and it turns red, it would be too hot for the skin. Imagine burning a nickel with concentrated fire until it liquefies. That is the raw substance inside of the earth. Sometimes she spits flames of fire and sets off a chain reaction. Every action has a reaction. Every act produces a result. There are 7 supreme angels that control or govern natural law. This wisdom, power, and force is in you too, but it is no longer active or kinetical. The science of kinetics pertains to the mathematical laws of motion caused by reality and not myths. Prior to 72 trillion years ago, you had the natural ability to spark atoms deep in the darkness of space. With a thought, you sparked a light. This power will be reactivated amongst all of the FOI and MGT. But not now. In the distant future or the hereafter, you will no longer doubt the fact, quote, Allah is all of us, as taught by Messenger Elijah Muhammad in the Holy Al Says Arrived, page 26 in 1974, Chicago, Illinois.